Welcome back to another video from Power Director Made Simple. Today's video is about the most recent July 2024 update for Power Director 365 users. For those of you that have forgotten about how to check on updates or just tend to forget about doing it each month, here's a brief recap of the procedure. Power Director usually creates a desktop icon for not only the program, but also for the Cyberlink Application Manager, nicknamed as CAM. On my desktop, here is what the CAM icon looks like, and I have also pinned the icon to my taskbar. I've said this before, but from within the Power Director program, if you ever click on Check for Updates, it always says that none are available or the program is up to date. Now, maybe it's my installation or whatever, but I suggest using only the CAM to actually check for updates. When you run the CAM icon, the application will start and connect you to the Cyberlink application server. Now, here's a screenshot of the initial view that you will receive when connected. If you are using a computer-based Power Director application, then you should select the desktop app along the left side. In the center, you'll see all the applications that you are licensed to use, such as Power Director 365 and any others. You can ignore the free download section under those because those are merely a trial of those apps, which will expire quickly. The important thing to look at is under the Power Director 365 listing is whether it says merely Open or if there is a button called Update. In this case, mine showed that there was an update available. So click on Update. When the installation starts, Windows User Access Control will ask if you want to make changes to your device. Click on Yes to continue. Cyberlink then brings up a license agreement, the same as when you first installed the program, and just as before any other updates in the past. Click on Accept to continue. The actual download process now begins as indicated by the progress bar along the right side. Now, once the download and installation are complete, now is the time to go ahead and run the actual program. I'll click on the Power Director icon on my taskbar. Next, I'll just click on New Project to jump straight into the program. Now, this update for July seems to be relatively small, and so far, I haven't noticed any major changes to any of the tools or menus. As usual, there are quite a few new titles. Included are 19 new ones named Daily, which seem to have no meaning related to the type or intent of the title. They will eventually reside in the YouTube subcategory. And all but 4 of these daily titles have sample text in English, whereas all the others would require the additional download of an Asian font. For example, I'll drag the Daily 08 title down to the timeline. I'll hit F2 to open the advanced editing window. And there under the font list, you can see the name of the Asian font identified. If I click the down arrow, there are a multitude of other Asian fonts that I could download if desired. Now, don't be fooled into thinking that you can't use any one of these titles with Asian fonts. And perhaps I like the color, the large border, and the white shadow. In that case, I can just change the font to anything I want. Since English is my primary language, I'm going to first filter the fonts to the English fonts only by clicking on the funnel-like icon and selecting English. Next, I'll click the down arrow alongside the font name and select any of the typical English fonts, such as Arial. I'll then change the text to read test. Now, if I were to click OK, all I would be doing would be to save the modified title onto the timeline. But if I were to click Save As, it becomes a custom template, which I then want to give a more permanent name, such as Orange Test. Then I can click on OK to return to the timeline. Now, immediately, you should notice that the media room has changed to your custom titles. And in there, you should find the new template called Orange Test, which will be there each and every time you open PowerDirector in the future. Now, back in the What's New category, notice that Daily 08 with its Asian font and text display is still there. If you don't want to see or ever expect to use any of these particular titles, you can right-click on any of them and select Delete from Disk. You wouldn't really be missing much because anytime in the future, you can always modify any title to look exactly like any title that you may have deleted. So the question really is if you want to keep these around because of the color and uniqueness of the font attributes. Now, right after the list of the daily titles are 10 new end credits, which reside in the newly created subcategory called End Credits. Apparently, some rocket scientist programmer in Taiwan has never used PowerDirector before and didn't realize that there already was a subcategory called Credits Scroll. So now you know why the list of subcategories keeps growing and growing each month. And finally, there are 8 new of the ever-popular Neon titles, which reside in the subcategory Neon, bringing the total up to 18. When I click on the subcategory of Neon to view all of them, for some reason the newest 8 titles do not appear in alphabetic order as expected. I just haven't figured out why, but maybe they'll settle into their new home eventually. And no, the misspelled Neon 08 is still spelled as Brignet instead of Bright, even though I let the engineering team know about it. So how long does it take a team of programmers to change the spelling of one word? I didn't notice any new additions to the transitions, the effects, or the overlays, even though Cyberlink has the habit of keeping previous ones in the What's New category for several months. And the export menu doesn't seem to have any changes. The previously discovered limitation of 5-digit input onto the possible 6-digit bit range remains unchanged. So that appears that is all there is for this update. Nothing more than a few new titles. At least this time we didn't get 100 new promotion and sales overlays to add to the already large collection. I hope this video has been of some help. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And if you haven't already subscribed, now is the time to click on that subscribe button. I want to thank all of you for watching and hope to see you back here next time.